this episode of Smoko Sailing.
Like a bootleg version of Jack Sparrow.
So this whole adventure has been a ton of firsts for us.
Is Coronado like a hidden secret, or do people know that it's gorgeous?
So this is our tender handler down here.
We're Armand and Leah, and this is our four-legged first mate Kino. We bought a sailboat with the dream of quitting the rat race and sailing the world. We sold most of our belongings, moved aboard Cosmo, and transformed her into a blue water cruising vessel. A year ago, we left our jobs and took off from our home port of Monterey, California. Since then, we've sailed over 2,000 miles down the Pacific coast and into the Sea of Cortez. From leaky bilges to rolly anchorages and unforgettable sunsets to unexpected fixes, we're learning to live simply, sail slowly, and enjoy the chaos along the way. This is our story. This is Smoko Sailing.
Okay, and we are finally out of the marina. Leah's at the helm here.
I am the captain now.
But yeah, gorgeous day in San Diego. We're going to
Coronado!
Glorieta Bay.
Glorieta Bay.
A5?
A5.
A5. So yeah, we're gonna anchor there for a couple of days. We're gonna relax, catch our breath.
Is Armand gonna shave his beard?
So this whole adventure has been a ton of firsts for us. This is our first time going under a bridge. So Leah's nervous because it's only how tall?
Okay, the map said 197 feet.
Yeah, so we're close. No, it's cool.
Show me the bridge. Show me the bridge.
I'll be laughing. Yeah, here's the bridge.
And through the bridge.
And it goes down here.
It's Port of San Diego over there.
So we're going over there. And we're gonna go under the bridge. So here we go. Aluminum can bend. We know for sure.
So, I don't think that this is 197 feet, because there's no way that our mass is like close to that.
I don't know, it's hard to judge. Alright, let's swing on in.
Wish I could zoom in on this. So you see all kinds of interesting things in marinas and anchorages because there's all types of people that choose to live and spend time on sailboats. And today we've got a really cool neighbor who is a bootleg version of Jack Sparrow. So he's got a bunch of pirate flags and he's also got a sword. So and I think he's welcoming back all of the race boats that are doing the Wednesday sails. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. He's got a ring light. I really want to know what's going on. He's an influencing pirate.
We never figured out who our pirate neighbor was, but if you know him from social media, let us know in the comments. This is where we've been landing our dinghy. There's a really nice dinghy dock. There's plenty of dinghy spaces. So we are in Coronado Island, and this is such a pleasant little surprise. It's almost like Avila, where we weren't expecting to stop there. Wasn't on the plan, but we did because things just worked out with timing and anchorage reservations, and it's so cute here.
Yeah, Coronado is gorgeous. I had no idea it was like upscale. Really pretty. I thought it was gonna be really industrial because we're by like a Navy base, and
I think that the anchorage can only fit 16 boats, so it's very, very quiet. It almost looks like we're run aground, but we're not. There's plenty of water. There's this really steep drop off.
I mean, we're by a golf course, and holy cow.
This is, yeah, so there is a lot of like Navy here once you go towards further down the Silver Strands Avenue. But if you go towards the downtown and Hotel del Coronado, which has a really cool history, there's a ton of really cute restaurants and shops, and it's been such an also convenient anchorage.
Yeah.
Like, this is cruisers' dream.
Like a 3-minute dinghy ride to a free shuttle to go downtown that stops outside of the laundromat. Like,
there's a laundry room, there's a grocery store, there's a Vons. This is great. Downside here, we can only stay 72 hours.
Oh yeah, tour of the day.
This place has everything.
Yeah, so
I don't want to leave.
Coronado is famous for a lot of things, including the Naval Amphibious Base that is home to U.S. Navy SEAL training. You may know one of Coronado's famous landmarks, Hotel del Coronado. The historic resort was built in 1888 and was the largest resort in the world when it opened. And for those that couldn't afford to stay there, there was the Tent City Campground that was established in the early 1900s located on the shores of the Silver Strand. Unfortunately, that closed in 1939 to make room for the highway. And Coronado Island is actually not an island, but it is attached to the mainland by a thin strip of land called the Silver Strand. And until 1969, when the Coronado Bridge was built, you had to take the ferry from San Diego in order to actually get to Coronado.
But this building was the test building for the people who constructed Hotel del Coronado. So it kind of looks like it.
It does.
They made this thing to practice to see what it would look like.
And now it's Blue Water Grill.
Okay, so we're going on a little bit of adventure. Where are we going, Leah?
We're gonna go to the Coronado Brewing Company that's on the other side of Coronado Island by the ferry landing, because we've had the beer before. It was really good.
I forget. Yeah, there's a mermaid on it, but something. Yeah,
and I was like, oh, it'd be really cool to actually go to the brewery.
So we're gonna paddleboard there. Pretty cool.
Yeah, because we have to get our exercise in before we drink our beers.
And we have a rat coming with us.
Yeah.
All right, so Leah's gonna take off on her new board. Okay, and we're off. We got Pinot Guy in the way, so let's ride.
Isn't this beautiful?
So Coronado, Leah and I were just talking. We think this is our favorite place so far. Yeah. All right, let's go to that brewery. Pinot, what do you think? And one of us fell overboard. I'm not gonna say who. This is actually really cool. This is the coolest idea. Look at this view. You wanna go back?
It's a little rough, not gonna lie.
Let's have a couple beers and then it's just, you don't know the difference.
Courage, yeah, because we're like going through the channel of San Diego and everyone's like creating a wake, so we're just like,
Control, it's Friday, so everybody's getting their bachelor party on.
We've got the historic ferry landing over there. Not everyone has a good time in Coronado. Is Coronado like a hidden secret, or do people know that it's gorgeous? Because it is fucking gorgeous! Very good beer. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so we're gonna leave tomorrow. We're having a great time.
We have to leave.
Yeah, we have to leave. We're getting kicked out. But maybe we'll be able to sail tomorrow. We're gonna see, because some of these people, they're definitely under motor. There's no way. We'll see. Worst case, we have a gorgeous look at the view. It's so cool.
We don't have that far to go. So,
all right, we'll see. Well, we made it back. It was about a 4-mile paddle, but we were fighting the current the entire way. And Girly over here.
I'm so tired.
What are we doing for the rest of the night? We're gonna put legs up. Dogs got snacks. We're chilling.
So this is Coronado Beach, and I think what's very interesting is the way that Coronado Island is shaped. It's not really an island, but once we leave the San Diego channel and Shelter Island, we actually come out like over there, and that's Point Loma. So we'll end up sailing around there. This is actually where the Shelter Island passage kind of starts, or the channel, and then we go past those cliffs and there's a lighthouse. And where those sailboats are, that's will be a little bit later today. It's yeah, it's very weird. It's gonna take us quite a few hours to get there.
Yeah, but we're gonna sail the whole way. I want it.
Alrighty, skipper. Good morning. Happy Saturday. It is Saturday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Saturday. Happy Saturday. We are leaving Glorieta Bay, also known as A5 Anchorage in San Diego. Actually, Coronado Island, which is not an island. And we are heading to Mission Bay via short stop at Shelter Bay because we need to pick up a package, our tender handler accessories kit, and no instructions. So should be, maybe if we're motoring, maybe an hour to Shelter Bay, Shelter Island, and then 2 to 3 hours to Mission Bay because we're hoping to put our sails up.
Leah's dream came true, sailing outside the San Diego Bay.
This feels great. It's a little stressful because this is the most boat traffic that I think I've ever seen.
Speaking of, here's a fast pan. Yeah, we got jet skis flying across our bow. Hell yeah, man, do whatever you want. So, we got that. But this is like such a highlight, sailing in San Diego. Like, this is something we've wanted to do for years and we talked about. So we're gonna take it nice and easy. Sailing to Mission Bay. What's our wind speed?
It's between like 9 and 13.
9 and 13. And then once we get around Point Loma, it should be even better. So we're gonna take the slow train to Mission Bay.
We spent a few peaceful days anchored in Mission Bay, soaking in some rare stillness and beautiful weather. And we didn't film much, mostly because we were busy doing absolutely nothing. After days of drilling into our hull and crawling into tiny spaces, that felt like the greatest luxury of it all. We finally fixed the autopilot wire that Armand spontaneously snipped during our last project and recharged before heading back to the marina for some more work.
So while we were doing the install of the solar arch and we had access to all these areas before, there was a wire that was dangling and it was cut. And I don't know what this wire was going to, but I wasn't a big fan of just having a dangling wire there. I don't know if it probably was nothing because it's been dangling for 20 years, but it still didn't give me the warm fuzzies. So I cut a wire, and then I realized the wire I cut was not the one I should have cut. So I traced it back, and it turns out I cut our autopilot like sensor signal. Basically the left, center, and right, and then the rudder control for it. So we still had power going to our autopilot. It still showed it on the ST6000 Plus, but if you pushed auto, like turn it on, the boat would like spin around like crazy. It was so confused. So I crimped it. Well, I haven't crimped it yet. I just put temporary little pieces of tape to hold it, and I want to see if it reacts the way it should. So now that we're in the open ocean, I'm gonna give it a whirl because last time we spun around real fast. Here's our heading. Let's get it to go. Okay, that looks good. Let's see if we can turn. Yeah, and we turn to the right. Okay, we're back in business. Kind of a foolish thing, but again, it's one of those days where you're super tired, you're trying to get stuff done, and you hope you make something in the right direction, and you did. So one thing also that happened was when Leah was using the multi-tool, she rubbed up against the GPS cord.
So, wait, hold on.
You did?
I did. Well, it was just, it was in the way. It was, yeah.
She scuffed it. She just clipped it a little bit. No big deal.
Scuffed it up. Not clipped it, scuffed it.
And it's this little thing right there, that white ball.
The little ring.
Yeah, so that's our GPS satellite. It gives us our position, and it just fixed itself.
Well.
It's because I reset it and it took it. How long does it normally take to kick in?
Well.
No, I thought you broke it.
Did I now?
What would you like for dinner tonight?
I'm gonna take the ribs out of the freezer.
Oh man, big deal.
Big deal. So we're having ribs. We're having some slow cooker ribs tonight. We eating good. We eat good on Smoko Sailing.
So now I just got this notification. It says AIS connection lost.
Not lost, just...
But also, satellite fix lost. See?
Do you want some ribs for dinner tonight?
Yeah, we're gonna have to fix this.
With that?
It's just some wiring. Yeah, we'll play with it. So we have no charts right now. We know where we're going. It's weird. We'll figure it out. Okay, so it's back now. It's intermittent, so I think the cable is bouncing a little bit. It's really no big deal. We can clean it up, and worst case, we get a new cable and I splice it. It's not a big deal.
Wait, so who's making dinner tonight?
I say it's about everything, but this is an easy fix, right? She knows. Just agree, and then you'll see me cussing.
I think like one day, if our mouse ever falls down, it's like, easy fix. All we gotta do is just lift it up. We gotta get a crane, lift it up,
yeah,
and then put some screws in.
No big deal.
We'll get into a little hole where you can't breathe or see anything.
Worrying did nothing.
Use your little fingers.
Yeah. All right, we're just pulling up to the marina now. Nothing too exciting on this trip. It's kind of easy going, which is good. Saw some dolphins. But now we're gonna do another reverse backing in, which I'm not too nervous about because we have the whole thing, but these can always be fun. It's only my second time doing it, so let's party. All right, well, docking was a little more difficult this time. It took me about 3 tries. So, but luckily we got in. I was just getting pushed around and my bow kept getting pushed away from the dock and I was kind of like moving parallel to it. So a little bit of difficulty, but we got here. So now we're just gonna put the boat back together and start working on some projects actually. Back in the marina, feels like we never left.
So, funny story about this tender handler kit that was supposed to originally come with the tower in a box, which was like a giant pallet. And so when we called them and said, hey, I think that we're missing quite a few pieces for this tender handler because we literally just had 2 poles that were not connected and we're like, what do we do with this? They're like, oh, are you sure? Did you check in the box or in the crate? Did you check? They talked to us a few days later and they said, we'll send a kit your way. Picked up the kit. We had to go back to the Shelter Island anchorage and then go to the postal annex to pick it up. So we got this kit. Let me show you. So this is the big box. 18 pounds. It's a pretty hefty kit. So I think that we would have noticed if this was not in the tower in the box. We're on our way to Home Depot today, taking the San Diego public transport. So we want to make sure that if we're at Home Depot and we need some parts, we're gonna get them. Armand's doing like the grand unboxing. That's so much stuff that was missing. Awesome. Cool part about this is it doesn't come with instructions. So none whatsoever. And when we called them and said, oh, well, there's no kit or instructions. I'm like, oh, it doesn't come with instructions.
I think I can figure it out though. All right, I feel like I'm at school. Not really, because at school they gave me directions, but...
YouTube University!
Yeah, no, not even. It's JPEG University. But I'm literally looking at these pictures right here, trying to study how this works. So it's gonna be a little interesting, but I really don't want to mess it up. So I'm gonna go on their site and see if there's any other pictures of boats, because they have a ton of boats that have done this, but they don't have a ton of boats that have done the...
Ask Shelly.
Dinghy davit. Yeah, we'll see.
Ask your girl Shelly.
Okay, so this is hype, you know? This is all the stuff that I have. I think these go on the top, and I think these end up going here to ratchet it up. There's some lines. You don't want to go up? He wants to go up. I did figure out one piece. These little lifting arms. I'm gonna call them elbows. So these elbows that come out, the davit should pivot off of that. And if I'm looking at it this way, it'll pivot up and down. These bars are gonna pivot. When Leah comes back, we'll mount those bars together. And something up here is gonna have an eye hook. So I do have this picture to work with on the site, and there's like those eye hooks. So this piece right here is definitely this piece. So it goes on the actual lifting arm. And these are definitely connectors. So this goes on the inside of the arms, and this goes on the outside. Okay, so I'm figuring some things out. One of them was, I saw in the picture that I could just do an eye bolt here. So I've been able to install some of these shackles. And there's the actual lift for the dinghy. Here she is in all of her glory.
Hello.
She's busy making me dinner. Yeah, all right, let's try to lift this and see what it looks like.
We forgot to record the completed tender handler while we were in San Diego, but here's the tender handler in action when we were in La Paz, Mexico.
So this is our tender handler down here. It's just like a horseshoe kind of thing. We have these lines which go to these blocks, and then we lift it all the way up using this cool system I've got.
And so we use these winches, which are for like our jib sheets.
So let's crank them.
Going up.
We're going to slide.
And it slowly starts going up. It does sound pretty rough on that side, but it's fine. Everything's fine. This is meant to handle a lot. That's what Atlantic Towers advertised for the tender handler. So I think they said 400 pounds. Also timed how long it takes for us to do this, which is about like 2.5 minutes.
Oh, really?
To like brace the whole thing. So
yeah, cool.
Doesn't take too long.